All right, welcome to the GrowCast Show, episode 79. Here with me, we have Janice Tan, founder of the Wellness Club. So how are you, Janice?
Good, thank you, Farisha.
That's nice. All right, so let me ask you the first question, the mandatory question. What does being better than normal means to you? And how has this philosophy shaped your journey?
So personally, I feel that human beings today are not normal. Everybody thinks that they're functioning in a normal sense. However, my perception of it is that we are performing at a suboptimal level. And so being better than normal is really just optimizing every area of your life so that you can function really well. Ultimately, it's all about finding the energy, the vitality, and the time within the same 24 hours that everybody has to be able to achieve your goals, your dreams, and your passion. So that's what I am all about, helping people to get better than normal.
Well said.
Thank you.
Tell us about the challenges you faced when you first started on your health transformation journey.
So when I started on my health journey, basically I was a really overweight child growing up. When I was younger, I'm not sure if you know, but people in my generation know there's this thing called the Trim and Fit Club.
Yes, the Tough Club.
Yes, the Tough Club. And spelled opposite is like FAT, you know.
Fat.
Yes. So growing up in primary school, I was singled out because I needed to be more trim and fit. And so I always felt very self-conscious about my weight, even though I wasn't like super overweight, just like out of the BMI, which is still, in terms really overweight. And we had to go running before class. During recess, you can't buy your food. You have to, do extra exercise. And so throughout my life, I always felt that I was this really fat kid, right? And I was self-conscious. I had low self-esteem. And then into my teenage years, same thing, I tried like detoxes, cleanses, flushes, could possibly lose a couple of kilos. And then I was so hungry, so starving that I would binge eat and the whole process happens again. And so then I realized that when I started a family, when I had children, when I was pregnant with my two, I had two children now. I put on a lot of weight, a lot, I mean 20 over kilos in each pregnancy. And then it was even harder to lose it because I didn't have the right info, the right tools. I tried exercising, working on my nutrition. But I think the most important thing is that I didn't have the right information, learning how to honor my body. I always felt like my body was working against me and it's like this challenger that I need to overcome. But as I started my health journey and found good information and started working with those information and tools, I realized that losing weight is actually simple, may not be easy, but I get effective results. And till today, I think I'm in a good BMI and I've maintained not just a good weight, but my mood, my energy is I feel younger than when I was 16. So I am super passionate about this and I want to share with everybody else how they can feel younger and look youthful, even though we are aging or growing older chronologically. Yeah.
No way, that's really inspiring. I really can't tell that, that you were from a tough club or something. And that to 20 kilos after birth, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
Many mummies can resonate with that.
Right? It's shocking.
All right. So what was the turning point in your health journey?
I would say the turning point in my health journey is I reached a point where I was really upset with the whole system, where I struggled with my mood swings, my weight loss. So I was also a working mom full time and I had 2 young kids and I was just feeling tired all the time. Parenting was not easy. I was pissed off and, trying to be a parent, trying to be a present parent. But because I could not manage my emotions well, sometimes I lash out at the kids and I felt a lot of guilt. And then the whole cycle repeats. And I feel like as a working mom taking care of young children, I work the whole day in the office. I come back, I deal with the kids. I don't have time for myself. And I just felt really shitty, to be honest. I felt like this adulting, parenting thing really sucked and I hated it. And mood was poor. I would say my work ability was lacking as time progressed. And also my relationships were turning a little sour, like arguing with the husband, being guilty towards my kids, like shouting at them. My kids also went through a lot of health issues. So my daughter at the age of 2 or 3, she started to have this itchy skin, like eczema. And I followed through with her pediatrician, like a specialist in a really good hospital, very well known, also very expensive, and followed her program or what she advised, giving my child a lot of, standard drugs. I followed it for 6 months and gave her a lot of stuff, like pharmaceutical stuff, but it didn't work. And so I felt really demoralized. Like I spent a lot of money. I followed the program. It didn't work for her. I tried a lot of alternatives, creams, anything that, was recommended. But it was so painful to see her go through like eczema because she wouldn't go shower. Every day she would be like screaming because she doesn't want to take a shower because with the broken wounds, it really hurt her. And as a mom, it's like, it's added stress from a long day work and looking at her suffer. I wished I could do something more for her. And so I was looking for ways to resolve her issue. So I found this health course and I started studying and then realizing that there are these tools that are so useful and so effective. And I incorporated all these tools with the right knowledge, with the right protocols and all natural herbals using vitamins. And they are supplements, but they are clean supplements and they are herbal and using vitamins. And so with some lifestyle change as well, we managed to get her totally healed from eczema. And so we no longer face that stress. And then myself, I learned a lot of things. And also personally, I was studying through the COVID pandemic. So it was a good chance where I had a bit more time because we couldn't really go out. And during that time, I basically learned a lot of natural alternative methods. And during COVID, there was a lot of dogma, right? There's a lot of like strict rules to follow. There were also a lot of push for vaccinations. And so personally, I learned about the potential risks. And so it was actually really challenging time for me. But I'm glad that I used myself and my children as my own case study. And we actually had COVID once and then used all the tools that I've learned during that early stages. And we are super healthy and with good immune system now. And I feel that that's something that really encouraged me that when there is something like a big pandemic going on and using natural ways to build up immunity instead of relying on something that is foreign to the body. So that's something that I'm really passionate about, really building the innate immune system for itself.
How did you discover root cause healing and what made you believe in this approach?
I would say as I was studying it in the early days, early stages, and then the COVID pandemic hit. So everybody was talking about, it was a time of a lot of fear, like we got to be masking up and we got to have these injections and we need to stay away. And I learned information that gave me confidence that if I build my immune system, I do not have to fear because I have control over my body and its ability to fight this illness, right? And so during the COVID pandemic, it really solidified my learning and gave me a lot of confidence that once you build on your immune system with the right tools and the right information, doing it sustainably, right, you will be able to not just worry about COVID, the flu, or anything that is running around, monkeypox and all that stuff that is, always coming up. So to me, root cause healing is really finding out what is too much in your body or too little. Whatever's too much, we got to clear it out. Whatever's too little, we got to boost up. And once you get the equation, you're actually mostly symptom-free and you have a very strong and robust immune system.
Next, what were the biggest misconceptions you had about health before your transformation?
So as I grew up, as like a fat kid, I thought, I just need to exercise more and eat less and I can lose the weight. That doesn't work. It didn't work for me for the whole 35 years of my life, from a little girl in primary school to teenage years to my dating years and then to having kids. Basically, it's not enough. And so I always thought just diet, just eat less and then just work more. And so that is something that is, I feel, a misconception that people have. And so how do you exercise well and how do you eat less and what kinds of food to eat? There is really a lot of nuance there that once you kind of understand each everybody's bio-individual. So once you realize that and work with it, you actually can achieve better results. Also, I used to think as I was adulting, right, already is like that. Everybody I know at the age of 30 plus, like, already got aches and pains, already very tired the whole day, already no time to exercise, already that's why I get fat, already that's why the hair is thinning, already I got wrinkles, already the freckles come out.
True.
That's a misconception. So that is something that I want to share with many others because I personally have lost the weight. I personally have more energy than I had when I was in my teens. So that's the kind of optimization that I have gone through, or transformation, and knowing that everybody can be better than normal. Also, I have, like I used to have these freckles. Now I don't have them. So it's really working from internal out without external boost of Botox. And I mean, I'm not saying it's not good but if you're looking for something from within and something really natural, then there is a way to do it, which many people are unaware. So that's where I want to share a lot about that. Like, I'm super passionate about it.
How did healing your body impact your confidence, relationships, and overall quality of life?
I gained a lot of confidence with the work that I do with the clients. And so I built a business with the clients' lives that have changed. And even with my personal journey of building my immune system and not falling sick as often, my kids are not falling sick. We have not had to see a doctor because we're sick for the last 4 years. And so having these skills and tools to know how to support your immune system was something that I learned. And through, using it on my family and my clients, the kind of changes that they have, it gave me a lot of confidence. And my relationship improved because I was not operating from a place of exhaustion, not having enough energy, but rather a place of vitality. My cup was full, so I was able to serve others, my own family first, and then my clients and even my friends and community. And so a lot of people was like, how do you get so much energy to do so many things? And to me, that's how better than normal is. Everybody gets the same 24 hours a day, but if I work for 8 hours, I can get potentially 16 hours of work done versus somebody who has 8 hours of work but literally does 4 hours of work, because of their energy levels. So, and lastly, I feel more aligned with my purpose, where I feel like I'm here to support individuals to optimize their life for their passion. And so when I do work that is hard and is challenging, it's okay because it's very aligned with my purpose. So I don't feel depleted from the work I do, and that brings me a lot of joy.
How is your program different from visiting a family doctor or a TCM practitioner?
So doctors usually, they look at the symptoms that you have mentioned and they provide something that will support you, and you potentially have to rely on it for a really, really long time. Also with alternatives like traditional Chinese medicine, it's more herbals that they use and more understanding the holistic system. However, yet I feel that a lot of my clients come to me because they don't understand what's happening. So my approach is where I want to give the client the understanding of how this body works, and then support them also with best of East and West. So the Eastern part is where we use traditional modalities like fasting, done in the appropriate way, right? As well as herbals known to be plant medicine, right? And also we use the Western way because we live in a really modern, good world where there is testing and you see your results, you can see your mineral levels, what is not optimized. You see it on like a piece of paper, you get a report. And also we, have modern day technology where we can grind up our vitamins and minerals and then put it into a capsule. So it's easy to take than, sometimes like boiling your herbs and stuff. So in a way, I want to incorporate the best of both East and West modalities, plus giving the client what they need in terms of understanding. Because without understanding, again, it's just listening to somebody who has more knowledge or authority and just listening without really understand whether the result worked or not, whether it's useful to you, whether it worked for you or not, but you don't really understand how your body works. So my program, I really want to share with people how to first understand what this body does and how to use it. And then actually my clients should not need me after each program because my goal is to give them everything so that they can be independent.
What are the biggest missing links in conventional health approaches today?
So the missing link is, I think, treating each body part or each pain or health issue as a singular item without looking at the holistic system. So personally, I like to see how things are linked, right? How your mouth is linked to your gut or your overall immune system. And so there are a lot of modalities where we actually want to see, so how I do this is we not just integrate physical health with testing as well as, using natural supplements to boost up your levels, but also to see the whole individual, not just on the physical level, but also on a emotional level. And so many people are actually going through a lot of high stress, different emotions, limiting beliefs or subconscious patterning that, growing up, it's never easy. And so I try to incorporate all these modalities to see a human, not just on the physical function, but also on the emotional aspect. And more now, emotions are showing up to create a lot of problems, where it's not based on genetics, it's not based on the physical only, but how problems can create, or sickness and illnesses are actually linked a lot to our stress and emotions.
How does your program work and what makes it effective for long-term results?
So I like to find out exactly what the root cause is, and we use like functional medicine lab testing that could be done at the comforts of your own home to gather some samples of your biochemistry at that point of time. That gives us gives me a look into the last 3 months of your life and what things are. And then from there, I actually give you a very tailored, personalized supplement protocol plan. And I also work with the client over a period of a couple of months to help them with lifestyle changes, limiting beliefs, subconscious beliefs, and to help them make change so that they are able to maintain optimal health by really working on boosting up what is lacking and reducing what is too much, like toxicities in the system that are known. So we have metals, we have gut bacteria that is overgrown in the system. I share with the client, why does it happen? Like how did we get here? How did you get to this health state? How we're going to move you back to an optimal state and how you can maintain it. So there are a lot of nuances we go through, like diet, exercise, stress, toxin removal, emotions, right? Supplements, handling, as well as mindset. So it's a whole comprehensive, holistic framework that I come from. But the goal is really to support the client in that aspect.
Oh, really interesting. What type of client thrives in your program? And what qualities do you look for in the people you work with?
So the kind of client that I think I love working with is somebody who is very into their health, but have found that many modalities have not worked for them. And they are very invested in terms of time and energy, and they want to learn, and they want to take ownership of this wonderful machine that we have. And so that's where I want to work with an individual like that. It's just they have been working really hard. I just need to give you the right information, and they will, see the results because they are working on it. Somebody that is open-minded, who will be learning about different modalities that they may not have heard about in mainstream news or even mainstream medicine, where we're talking a lot about Eastern medicine. And a lot of us in Singapore are quite open to that because we, are in the East. So it's helpful. And that's where I enjoy working with somebody who likes the best of both worlds.
Why do health issues arise? And why do so many people struggle with recurring symptoms?
Health issue arises. There is basic, simple equation. There is too much of what we don't need. So we live in a world that is quite toxic. There are many chemicals that are, being produced by the different industries. We also, have brake dust in just the air, right? We have pesticides in our food. We have oil leakage in the sea, and we have a plastic problem, right? So there's just a lot of man-made created stuff that we are dealing with. And so this body is very overloaded with toxicities, right? Whether it's heavy metals, plastics, or, chemicals in our personal care products as well. And also, we are also living very depletedly because we're not getting nutrition from the food. And that's, in a way, how our food is grown. We want it fast. We don't do it the traditional way where we grow it properly without all these quick agents like, giving the soil time to rest. So our soils are very depleted, and our mineral levels from food today is like 50 times to 80 times less than 50 years ago. So the way we're producing our food is also causing less nutrition. On top of that, everybody is so stressed out. When you're stressed, your gut health is really imbalanced. So there is a huge connection between stress and the human physiology, and that impact is also causing the reduced ability to absorb your nutrients. So when you put everything together, That's why not enough nutrition, too much toxicity, health issues, pains, aches. But once we work that equation out, it all disappears. Yeah, so it's really cool.
What is inflammation and how does it contribute to weight gain, fatigue, and diseases?
So inflammation is a word that is thrown around in the health industry nowadays. And the simple terms I like to share with people, it's like rusting in your blood. You know, when metal rusts, you see these rusty stuff on the metal. And so when people get inflammation, they age faster, like their skin is not so good, the hair falls out, because your body basically is dealing with a lot inside. So when I say what is the stuff that's going on inside, it's environment toxicity. Your body is not able to cope with clearing out toxicity that shouldn't be in the system. So it's being burdened by it. Also stress that is that we're thinking about, like our kids, our work. There is a whole system about how your thoughts actually links to the stress hormones, right? The moment you think something stressful, your body goes into fight or flight. And when your body is in fight or flight, it's a natural autonomic response to create stress hormones so that you can run for your life and save and for survival. But today, our stress is a chronic version. It's chronic. It's not like one time and then you're done after running away from a tiger. It's so chronic that it creates this oxidation, which is like rusting in your blood. And that's why people have these health issues. Over time, it accumulates and toxins accumulate, your stress accumulates, and things go haywire. Some people noticed a lot of hormonal issues, weight gain, fatigue. These are just simple signs that something is off with the system. We got to do a lot of clearing out what we don't need and boosting out what is lacking. It's like a car, right? If you want to run car into the F1, you can't put like shitty petrol in it, right? You got to put good quality petrol that really cleans the engine while it's moving. So that is something that, you know, we need to know what to put into our system and what to clear out so that we have this, we can reduce inflammation in a nutshell.
How can someone effectively reduce inflammation and prevent it from returning?
So for inflammation, what I would always say is watch what we are putting into our system. A lot of things are highly inflammatory out there. Most things that are packaged in a bag, it's in a plastic bag or a silver foil bag, is highly inflammatory because of the food industry, the kind of oils that they're using, the kind of chemicals and additives to make you addicted to the food, right? So you keep going back to it. And so the first start is to eat proper foods, generally whole foods, your fruits and vegetables, real meat, and also opt for cleaner options. And what I mean cleaner options is meat today is also not grown the same. Our cows and our pork or our chicken is raised in environments where they are given antibiotics, growth hormones to speed up their growth and to make them bigger because, you know, suppliers charge per weight. The longer the time, the smaller they are, the less margins they make. So it's a very profit-driven food industry now. And so once we know that these are the causes of inflammation, picking the right sources, investing in that would, you know, highly reduce inflammation. Of course, lifestyle habits and mindset, like how you view your stress at work, how you view your life. So for me, when I work with inflammation, it's very hard to ask somebody to change their mindset. Like it's almost impossible. Like, I've been doing this for 30 over years. What do you mean change my mindset? I know I need to change, but I can't. So I give the body what it needs, which is a lot of the time we're so depleted and we're so full of toxicity. The first part, I want to just boost up their mineral levels, vitamin levels, clear out stuff that they do not need. All my clients, after they follow the program, suddenly they can shift their mindset. So to me, I felt I had a huge personality change. I was this type A woman that was controlling at work and at home. And then once I rebalanced my body, I became this like calmer, chill lady that makes decisions, still strong businesswoman, but I make decisions from a place of calm and not from a place of firefighting. And so that's the work where when your body is balanced, you're not in that highly wired state and you do become less inflamed and therefore you become a different personality, it seems. But actually that is the original you. And so that's how inflammation affects the whole body, mind, and emotion, and how I work with people to, you know, on these aspects.
How do you determine if someone has nutrient deficiencies? And why are they so common these days?
So somebody has nutrient deficiency, and it's very common. We live in a first world country. People would feel that a lot of time I'm overweight, right? So I have too much, I am too fat, right? So it means I have a lot of excess stuff. However, how do we find out that they're nutrient deficient? One is I do functional medicine at-home lab testing, which will show us your mineral levels at this current state, right? In the last 3 months, how are your vitamin and mineral levels? And a lot of my clients, actually, I would say 90% of my clients are super depleted. And so they're actually I would say they're malnourished, they are super overweight, but when I tell them that they're malnourished, they're shocked. What do you mean I'm malnourished? I eat a lot. Yeah, however, there's a few things, right? Why are we so nutrient deficient? First, the food industry, the way our food is grown is not the same as it was 50 years ago. There's a lot of chemicals being used. It's all fast-tracked with a lot of chemicals or antibiotics or growth hormones on our meat products, as well as our fruits and vegetables. We spray pesticides and, we want to make sure it grows perfectly, it looks beautiful, right? And so with these toxicity in our food that is common and we eat them, it actually affects our gut bacteria and our gut flora. And so when your gut is affected, it does not have good absorption. And on top of that, you're stressed. When you're stressed, it's not the best time for your body to absorb food because, the body is really smart. It will put its energy where it's best for you. And if you tell your body that now I'm stressed, it's like, we got to run for our life. I'm not going to send energy to your digestive tract or your saliva. That's why we get dry mouth. Sometimes when we eat while working, we get this, stomach indigestion. It's all due because you didn't give your mind and body the right signals. And so with these three in mind, that's why we are not absorbing our food, or the food itself is not nutrient dense. So we got to work with that. And to keep people's nutrient levels up, I use natural methods, natural products to support that in the short term, and then lifestyle habits to maintain it in the long term.
How does stress disrupt hormones, and what are the long-term effects of chronic stress?
So our body actually is really smart. It has an automatic system where we don't need to tell our body to breathe. It will breathe automatically. We don't need to tell our body that, hey, food is going in. The moment you start eating, it will know what to do. Digest the food, process it through your stomach, your small intestine, your large intestine, and get whatever it doesn't need out. Everything is autonomic, right? And so part of the autonomic system, there are two areas. There is this thing we call the fight or flight mode and the rest and digest mode. Fight or flight is when you are running for your life and your body sends signals to every single part of your body where actually digestion is halt, right? Because it's not needed. We will pull glucose from your stored muscles and your blood sugar usually is higher because your body needs to run for its life. So that is the, background of where our genetic imprint has come from, where these are the system, how it moves, right? And so a lot of people, they are in this fight or flight stressed out mode all the time. It's chronic, right? And so the body doesn't switch back to this other mode that we call rest and digest, where growth happens, rest happens, repair happens, rejuvenation happens. And so these different systems kick up a lot through our thoughts and the environment and how we view our environment. So when we know how to be more in the rest and digest state, that is when you can lower your stress levels, lower your chronic inflammation, the speed of aging. And a lot of my clients will tell me my hair is getting thicker, my skin is getting shinier, my mood is better, I am able to handle stress better than I used to, and I feel lighter. Your body will not hold on to excess weight because when it's in a stressed out mode, it feels like it's deficient and it needs to hold on. And so it's really knowing how the system works, switching between fight or flight and rest and digest. Fight or flight is necessary still in today's world when you need to give a big presentation, when you need to win a project, when you need to, protect your family, we do that. But on most times, we should be in the rest and digest state. It's just that now a lot of us are functioning from one state that is really depleting the system and causing, in the long run, all these hormonal issues, weight gain, fatigue, rapid aging. So in a sense, it's really knowing how to switch your body system in order to achieve repair and rejuvenation.
What's the difference between biological age and chronological age? And can we reverse our biological age?
Yeah, so chronological age is basically the age that you are today minus your birth year. And then, every year it just keeps going up. But biological age is basically how well your body is functioning on a cellular level. And we can reverse biological age by reducing toxicity, improving your nutrition, and optimizing your lifestyle and stress. We are actually able to reverse biological age. So really testing how well your cellular health is.
You've said that burping, farting, and gas are common but not normal. Can you explain why gut health is so important?
So a quick background is I used to be very constipated for 35 years of my life. And growing up, I was known to be the person with the smelly farts. So all my friends, I use that as my bomb and I, made a name for myself. But it's actually really embarrassing because I was always farting and they were extremely smelly. It's like not the smellless kind. And so I also was constipated where I only went to the toilet like every alternate day and sometimes maybe longer than that. And I've also checked with different doctors and they say, oh, it's normal, it's okay. But a lot of the older folks, like my mom and, my aunties would be like, that's not normal. We need to poop every day. And so I learned through my journey that I had suboptimal digestion, suboptimal gut health, and that's resulting in all this burping and farting. And so it is very common. Everybody has it, but it's actually not a normal function of the body. So when your digestion is optimal, you have enough digestive acids and enzymes to break down your food, and it will go through the whole system in a very seamless way where you should not be having bloating, gas, burps. And so once we optimize that, which I have now, I actually no longer burp, fart, or pass gas. And if I do, I know exactly which is the triggering food, and I will either avoid it or use, certain enzymes, digestive enzymes to support me while I'm going through like foods that potentially not best for my system, but I really enjoy. And that's where you use modern science to help out. So yeah, when your immune system is working well, it will support your hormone health and your overall wellness. So optimizing your gut health is actually something that I have done for myself and I'll be doing for my clients because it's one of the big cornerstones of health.
What is your 21-day health program and why is it such a powerful starting point for healing?
This 21 program is basically a structured reset and it's very simple to do. May not be the easiest, and that's why I guide my clients through it. We have a community that does it regularly. This 21-day reset, what we do is we go through increasing your nutrition. So we make sure that you have what you need to do certain things that your body will need to go through. And we're going to put your body through a detox. And what I mean by detox, I know this is like a very sensitive word. People fear it and they're worried about it. It's actually backed by science, understanding how your liver works and what kind of minerals and vitamins that you need. And then we use herbs as well to support your liver to be optimized so that it can clean out the toxicity in your system. And once we, as I said before, we increase nutrition, clear out what we don't need, you get optimal health. So obviously in 21 days, that's not going to happen depending on how old you are, how much toxicity you've accumulated and how depleted your nutrition is. However, all my clients, when they've gone through the 21-day reset, have felt so much younger. They felt that their skin is better, their hair is thicker. In a short 21 days, their sleep is better. They no longer have so much bloating and farting. And part of that program includes food choice. So we have a food plan that has been designed to be hypoallergenic, where there are no sensitivities. Sensitivities trigger inflammation in the system. So basically, we're going to give you a low inflammation diet to follow, simple enough. And then we also walk you through to make sure you have enough liquids and you eat at the right time of day. You will balance your hormones. You will lose toxic weight. And also you will feel so much younger. So this is my 21-day reset program that was designed to support people in their busy lives. Just take 21 days, get a reset, and it will kickstart all your cellular function for further work if you're interested to do further work. Yeah.
How does your 21-day health program work and what results can clients expect?
So the 21-day program, we eliminate foods that are inflammatory. A lot of our daily foods that we're eating are causing food sensitivities. So like the common ones that I find in, I would say 90% of my clients when we do testing is dairy. So anything that's in the cheese, milk, yogurt, and then nuts. Nuts can also be very sensitive to many people, even though they are a health food, right? It's not ready for your system today. And so dairy, nuts, and gluten. So stuff like noodles, wheat products, breads, pasta, pizza that are made of wheat is actually very sensitive to many people. And what do you mean by somebody sensitive? So there is an inflammatory system that will come up when you eat these foods because it causes inflammation, and we will eliminate these foods foods during the 21 days so that you have less inflammation while we are clearing out toxicity, supporting your body with all the ingredients that your liver needs to really like be on OT, working overtime. So your liver has always been working overtime. But during this 21 days, we give it what it needs. So it's happily working overtime. So that's how we do it.
Who is the best fit for the program and how can they determine if they need it?
So anybody who is like feeling a lot of fatigue, feel like they're putting on a lot of weight and not able to lose it, they're feeling really moody all the time, they have high sugar cravings, they feel that their sleep is affected, they have breakouts. So anybody who feels that they're not optimized, like this shouldn't be happening, but I don't really know why. So that's where I would recommend this 21-day health reset so that they can, with just 21 days, they go through a short enough program with working on your diet and how you're taking your nutrition, you'll be able to feel so much better in 21 days. Yeah.
What is a food sensitivity and how does it differ from allergy?
Okay, so food allergies create an immediate response and most of them are life-threatening. A food sensitivity does not necessarily creates an immediate response. It can be up to 72 hours. So whereby when this food breaks down, it goes into your bloodstream, your body actually sees it as something bad. So it will actually overcompensate. Sometimes there is bloatedness, weight gain. Some people get random aches, random headaches. That's a sign that your body is dealing with some inflammation and sensitivity. And so I actually test with a functional medicine at home lab where you can find out your sensitivity to 190 different foods. And then once we know how sensitive you are to these foods, we work on an elimination for a couple of months, depending on how sensitive you are. And then we reintroduce the food. Because some foods are healthy foods, right? It could be like almonds, right? It could be chicken, it could be whatever it is. And the point is every single person is bio-individual. So something that's very good for somebody may not be the best for you. And so some of us are taking healthy foods every day that are causing these sensitivities and therefore leading to inflammation. And so once we recognize where the source of inflammation is, we can reduce it or cut it out and then, let the body heal and then bring it back into our lifestyle.
How can someone identify hidden food sensitivities and how can they heal from them?
To identify, you can either use a food journal and mark your food that you're eating in every single meal. And if you notice any symptoms, you go back to it. However, food sensitivities can show up 72 hours later. And so that's where you can do functional medicine at-home testing where you prick your finger, gather some blood spots. We send it out to a lab in the US and you get a report of 190 different foods that you may be sensitive to across all your carbohydrates, your protein, your vegetables, your fruit, your nuts. And then with that comprehensive report, we see how sensitive you are. If you're severely sensitive to a food, we actually eliminate it for 6 months. A lot of my clients are actually sensitive to egg, right? A lot of people are shocked because egg is a healthy food, but it is a very common food sensitivity. And if it's a milder sensitivity, it could be just a 6-week elimination. And does that mean, a lot of people say, does that mean that we cannot eat this food forever? It's not true. The body has an innate ability to heal. So once you remove the trigger, the stressor for a fixed amount of time, the body will start to, not treat it as a trigger and we will slowly reintroduce it so that you can eat your favorite foods and it's not creating an inflammatory response.
Nice. How does emotional work fit into healing and why do you incorporate it in your program?
So the body actually is an electromagnetic field. We have an electromagnetic field around us and how we integrate with our environment, actually, we use a lot of energy and frequency. And so emotions are a form of moving frequency, which we do not see, but we know is there. We can feel it in the system. Actually, a lot of us don't even process that in our body, like how does an emotion, happy or sad, feel in the system. And a lot of the times, a lot of negative emotions, whether it's guilt, fear, sadness, anger, they get stuck like in the system, in the body, and actually becomes something physical, right? And that's where new science is showing that your emotions actually impact your physical, not just from the thought process, but actually in the physical system. Negative thought patterns continue this whole patterning. And so we are always in this loop of creating a field that is not in the flow for our entire energetic being. And so for me, I use MBSR system where it's mind, body, spirit release. And we support clearing these negative emotions by giving one awareness to the client when they're working with me that they have this subconscious belief. We use natural ways that are non-spiritual and non-religious to clear it out of the system.
Why do trapped emotions and subconscious beliefs lead to physical health issues?
The nervous system remembers trauma and stress. So it actually creates a memory. And when it is stored in the system, it creates inflammation just at the back end. It's just like when your computer has a lot of apps running at the back, it kind of whatever is on your desktop screen may be what you're seeing, but these background apps is actually taking capacity and bandwidth on your CPU and your memory. So if you want a fast, efficient computer system or operating system, we need to close the apps that we're not using, or actually clean up the computer with, all the cache and all that you accumulate as you use your internet browsing. And so the same with the body. We, besides physical detoxification, we also need to look at our emotional health and where we are storing emotions that are not helpful to the system and cleaning it out. And so first is awareness and recognition, and then finding a process of simple things like breath work, awareness, consciousness to clean up the system on an emotional level.
What role do stress and past trauma play in weight gain, cravings, and fatigue?
Past trauma could be like when, you were a bit overweight growing up and your friends and relatives might call you out for, looking fat in your clothing or, being overweight. So these imprints actually stay in our system, or these memories stay, whether it's in the forefront of your mind or not, in your system. And as you grow up, they create a pattern where it's so subconscious and unconscious that you may not know that some of the things that you're doing is actually causing this patterning. So for example, my family grows up in a place where we do not waste our food. I think in the Asian culture, everybody knows, we should not be wasting food. We should finish up everything.
Yes.
Even the last prawn on the table, you're very full, everybody's very full, but we need to put it in. So when I tell my clients to eat to 70%, 80% full, if there's something there, it just bugs them, right? And it's not like a physical response that they're hungry to eat that, but it's more like an emotional, subconscious patterning that, I'll just eat it up. It's a waste of food. And that's running at their background. When we have these emotional patterning and we are telling, so the client knows that I need to reduce my calorie intake, but when there is this patterning, they find it really hard to follow what they want to follow, right? And that is something that we need to work on the root cause level, on the emotional way, so that they can let go of that and be able to step forward to do what they want to do. And that is just a small example, but yeah.
How does your program help with weight loss? And can you share a success story?
Yeah, so I had a client that has been trying for many, many years to reduce the amount of calorie that she's taking. And she's like exercising every day. She's also a working mom and a working professional. And she came to me and is like, you know what? Nothing is going to change. Like there's no program because I've tried it all. I was like, most programs out there, they don't look at foundational principles of health and they're not backed in scientific proof that has lasted thousands of years. So my program is based on Eastern and Western modalities where we understand why a lot of the olden Eastern modalities have worked for thousands of years, why breath work works, why some fasting works. And of course, that is bio-individual for everybody. But once you understand that and put in the right nutrition, she basically followed the program, lost a ton of weight. She lost 20 kilos in a year sustainably, so not like crash losing. And she's since been able to maintain it. And this is like her 4th year now. And she knows what to do when things are out of whack, like her stress levels is out, her sleep is out. She noticed that she's on a slippery slope, what she needs to come back. So this is the kind of tools that I want to empower my clients so that not just working with me forever, right? I don't really want to see them forever. I want to see different clients, impart the tools to them so that they can use these tools to manage the different seasons of their life, right? When it's nice and easygoing or when it's extremely stressful.
How does your program improve poor skin, acne, and premature aging?
So the program, we work on foundations of health, where if you give the body what it needs, really enough nutrition, what is not enough, we put back in. Whatever is too much, we take out of the system. And that's how cellular health becomes more youthful. And that's where your skin, everything is through your blood, really. So if your blood is cleaner, if the liver that is filtering your blood every 6 minutes, like all of your blood every 6 minutes, is better function, is able to clear out all the stuff that is in the blood, you get youthful skin. So personally, I used to have a lot of freckles despite adding a lot of sunscreen, putting really expensive cream on my product, on my face. And then after I've worked on this program, internal health, like my skin got better without expensive products. So now I use very minimal product, but beauty comes from within. When your blood is not rusting, your skin doesn't rust. When your blood is clean, your skin doesn't wrinkle as much. I'm not saying that it will not wrinkle, but you will slow down the process of aging.
Many women suffer from painful periods, migraine, and hormonal imbalances. Now, how can they heal naturally?
So hormonal imbalances really stem a lot from the stress that is in women today. There is so much work that a woman has to do. Like she has to work. A lot of my clients are working moms, or even if they're not working, they are dealing with the stresses of running the family as well as raising kids. And these stresses, there is a direct connection between what you're thinking and the stress hormones that are being produced. So these stress hormones actually get produced within the stress organ. And once that goes up, your estrogen markers, your progesterone, basically they are your male, female hormones, testosterone, they go out of whack. And when they go out of whack, that's when thinning hair happens, excess weight gain on the hips happen, mood swings happen. And so we use functional medicine labs to test where these hormones are. And then we use natural herbs and supplements to rebalance the system. And on top of that, lifestyle and mindset, because we may rebalance your system functionally on a physical level, but if you keep thinking the same thoughts and you keep having negative patterning, you're still creating the stress. There's also a lot of toxicity that is contributing to these estrogen dominance that we have. Plastics are actually recognized by the body as xenoestrogen, so basically a foreign form of estrogen. And that's where, as I mentioned, toxicity is something that we got to deal with. And once we work on reducing that, it supports hormonal balance. So there's quite a few things, but that you can resolve it. You can find out where you are. You can work on it, and then you can test to make sure that you're on the right track.
Okay. Many believe that children will outgrow eczema, but you've helped resolve it. How did you do it?
So a lot of people think that eczema is just purely on the skin. However, a lot of eczema is just a reaction because of inflammation in the system, mostly food sensitivities and poor gut health, right? So what are food sensitivities? Food sensitivities are inflammatory response that your body has when you eat certain foods that at this point of time is not suitable for you, even though they're healthy foods like egg and nuts. And what is poor gut health is when your gut is not working well. That's where there are imbalances and inflammation triggers that causes eczema in a lot of children. And most of the time, you do not outgrow it. In fact, it gets aggravated with more poor imbalance in the gut, as well as more food sensitivities. And this thing called leaky gut, where a lot of the stuff that's not supposed to go into your bloodstream is flowing into your bloodstream. So creating like dirty blood. And once we manage to find out what the inflammatory triggers are, work on resolving them, these issues will resolve naturally.
If someone is feeling stuck, exhausted, and overwhelmed, what's the first step they should take today?
So if someone is feeling overwhelmed, fatigued, and stuck, I run a 21-day program, which is short enough, not too long. I know it sounds long, but it's a good time where your cells get a boost. And so in this 21-day program, I boost up nutrition for anybody on the program. And also we're working on reducing toxicity and working on lowering all your inflammatory markers. So at the end of it, because we're also rebalancing your blood sugar, rebalancing your hormones, making sure that you're sleeping well, it's 21 days, but there's a lot impacted in that 21 day to give the body a reset, a kickstart, right? Like a quick boost so that you feel good enough to incorporate like more lifestyle changes. And so I highly recommend anybody who is feeling that they're stuck in their health, for feeling bloatedness, sugar cravings, and just feeling meh about life, to try this 21-day reset program that I've prepared, and it will be a life changer is all I can say.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That have been really enlightening, and I'm sure many of us out there would like to know more. So this is it. This has been a wrap in episode 79. Do get in touch with Janice, the founder of Wellness Club.
Thank you.
Thank you.